Then riders lining up, feet down. Revs will come up very shortly. The man at the front of the grid with the red flag will depart, and the lights will come on. The Red Bull rookies will burst into life once again at Mugello. A real, true, iconic ribbon of asphalt. It's great to see racing here once again, post-pandemic. Well, the green flag waves at the back, the lights will come on and they'll go off. We'll go racing once again. Red Bull rookies here, round 3 is go, and it's all seemingly cleanly away. No glaring jump starts like we might be used to after what happened in Jerez. And look at that, the number 89 of Marcus Uriarte just thinking of himself, heading off into the lead with the whole shot potentially coming down into turn 1, but it's such a long way, so you could have some slipstream already. But is that Ivan Ortula going into the lead, or is it the number 23 of Alex Millan?
I think it was Ortula with just
it is Ortula.
It's the number 24, so really good stuff then from Ortula.
Oh, a huge accident there. Who was that coming out? Is that... Oh, and a couple of other riders gone down as well. 23, that was Millan who's gone down in big style. You don't get bigger high sides than that. Oh my goodness me, I wonder who else went down as well, but thankfully he got up and okay. Drama already here on the first lap in Mugello, but we got 3 escapees, Holgado, Vaya and Ortula as well.
Yeah, so that was pretty dramatic there, but up and okay, I think, there after that incident, and nicely avoided by the rest of the field as well. So yeah, it's just created that gap then as well, and you saw just after that crash there as well.
Oh, it's the number 9.
Yeah, it was. So we've got more than one rider down there then. So
oh, that's Freddie Heinrich who's gone down, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Northern Talent Cup graduate, so he looks okay, at least up and okay. But yeah, it's created that gap, and you also saw in the background of the shot just a second ago that flag saying there are very definitely still some drops of rain out there.
Yeah, the light rain flags did not stop during the last session that we had out on track here at Mugello, but still then, how about this? Colin Vaya, I think, was leading according to the timing tower, and he is, he's out front there, the Dutchman, what a great stuff from him. Awesome to see. Ivan Ortula in hot pursuit with Holgado, but they've been caught by the pursuing pack once again. I think with the slipstream down the front straight, this could be a huge, huge freight train. Yeah,
it really could. I think I spoke too soon on that bit of a gap that had been created there, but great stuff from the Dutchman. Obviously feeling pretty confident despite those spots of rain we can still see there. So he leads us over the line then at the end of lap 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ortula is going to strike into turn 1 this time around.
Yeah, across the line they come. We're looking back at Diogo Moreira from your cup leader, Danny Holgado, and that's David Munoz. No problems then for him, for the Spaniard. He moves out of the slipstream, absolutely mugs Holgado going into turn 1. This is San Donato, and we have Ortula leading from Vaya, and then Moreira as well, who, by the way, had a bit of a busy week, didn't he, down in Barcelona, testing out Jaume Massia's full factory world championship running KTM as well.
Yeah, he was out on the Red Bull KTM IA machine at Catalunya, wasn't he? So that's some great experience for him as well. So another great performance from the Brazilian here as well. Some good form in the rookies so far this year. But speaking of form, I think Vaya is really, I don't want to use the pun, but he's on fire right now. Really
wow, you've been waiting to use that since round 1, haven't you?
Great stuff from the Dutchman though. Really good to see him in the lead and showing so much confidence in this race and taking it to the guys that have been just that little bit of a step ahead of him so far in 2021.
The signs were there though, mentioned as he was 3rd in the free practice sessions on Friday.
Definitely.
So good to see David Alonso, who is also up there, 2nd place in the free practice classification, as he is also in the cup classification at the moment, just currently occupying 7th position. A long, long way to go yet with 2-minute lap times. Well, 14 laps to go. You can do the maths yourselves. I'm not.
I was going to say, is that an invitation?
Absolutely not, no.
But yeah, you can see then Fire at the moment got a little bit of a gap, but I don't think it will be anywhere near enough to manage to escape the chasing pack on that start-finish straight as it stands. But great stuff from the Dutchman still. And there's a bit of a squabble here for 2nd. They do need to be careful that they don't give him too much time to escape.
Worth noting, we've just been through turn 12. That's where the long lap penalty lane is located. So if track limits are exceeded too many times for these young riders, they will have to go through it. We all know what happened last time. If you haven't already, go and check the races from Jerez. They were very exciting as Ortola's just been nerfed off on the outside of turn 15. That'll affect his run onto the start and finish straight then. So Slipstream City once again. We have a Dutchman, from a Brazilian, from a Spaniard, and then we also have Holgado there fighting Ortola there as well. Daniel Munoz, the number 7, quietly moved up into P3. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was a pretty smooth move there. And look at David Alonso there around both of those guys, making it look so easy on the number 18. But that's great stuff. And yeah, I was going to say...
Munoz going into the lead, look!
I don't think... Let's have a look. Okay, so round here then, Moreira, I think he'll have to give that up. Yeah, so not quite able to take over in the lead. A little bit wide around San Donato, but great stuff then. And it was not enough, that gap, to hold on to the lead.
No, so we have a leading freight train of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even going to count the rest of the riders. The fastest rider that last time around was Tachikon Boisri on the number 5. He is in this leading group. The fastest lap time last time around was a 2:02.8. The leader over the line, Colin Fire, said a 2:03.5.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting with the lap times here with the slipstream and then changing position, and it can have such a massive effect. So also the conditions, of course, there'll be some feeling more confident than others. I think we're going to have a new race leader.
No, that was a look up the inside up Arrabbiata 1, and here's Arrabbiata 2, the ultra-fast right-handers here. I mean, this must be such a joy for these riders to go around here. I bet some of them really missed it last year, didn't they? Yeah,
it's such a glorious venue. As we mentioned, it's just one of the most beautiful places in the world. And there's one of the world's most beautiful racetracks right in the middle of it. So it's a bit of a win-win there.
Yeah, but same goes with the food as well. It really ticks all the boxes. We got Fire moving into third once again, with Munoz of the Daniel variety up in the first place from Moreira in second.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty solid lap from these guys. Nothing too much now. They seem to be just settling into a bit more of a rhythm, but great job from Daniel Munoz to have moved up to lead this race now. Moreira and Fire, though, looking the most racy at the moment. And yeah, the Dutchman, it seems pretty keen to make that progress back into the race lead.
I think both Daniel and David Munoz need to decide who's going to be faster, because we can't have these two riding neck and neck. It's a commentator's nightmare, so we do need to have words with them after this.
It really is.
They are no relation, by the way.
They are not. It always reminds me of the Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, classic movie. But here we are then, we're already 4-5 abreast almost. It's nowhere near the end of the race and real crunch time to decide that podium, but great stuff from these guys. Who is going to come out on top? Well, it's going to be Moreira late on the brakes.
Hang on, is that the number 72 for Rossato, the newbie up there into second place?
I was going to say, at some point we need to give a bit of a shout out.
It's time for Rossato, our old friend from the ATC, joining the Red Bull Rookies Cup for the rest of the season. Well, he had 4 wins from 4 back in Qatar. He's in the form of his life. So look at this, a wildcard entry. What an entrance this is to the Rookies Cup.
Yeah, it is. So, right, start replay. Let's have a look at this. So you can see, I thought initially it looked like Uriarte had the best jump there, but just didn't quite seem to gather it together after the initial jump off the line.
Replay of that turn 2 or accident there is, crikey, he was so fortunate, was Mian, and unfortunately that's Heinrich just getting collected as well. In a separate incident, you can see, goodness me, how quickly their reactions are. Cat-like reactions, or reactions like a fighter jet, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, but, great stuff from those guys to immediately be able to avoid that. Very well done. And good to see both riders okay after that. We've had confirmation through, so that's very good news. But we were talking about Tayo Furusato,
who's in third place now.
He is. So Age Talent Cup, as a rookie when he appeared there, really impressive, fighting for race wins. And then earlier this season, pretty much just dominated most of it. So great form from him, and now here in the rookies on a KTM, joining the Cup for 2021, and immediately a real threat at the front.
I just noticed there Diogo Moreira wiping both his visor and his screen there, coming down towards the run down of turn 15. He's got Tayo Furusato just behind him, and now this is worth to point out, if you are not an Asia Talent Cup fan, firstly, what are you doing? Get on Facebook and YouTube and check them out as part of the Road to MotoGP program as well. But Tayo Furusato can win them all. He can run away with the win. He can battle with the best of them onto the final lap, the final corner, the run to the line. He can do it all. He is a threat here in this race today. We're 6 abreast coming back down into San Donato, and David Alonso has joined the fight as well, up into 3rd place.
Yeah, good stuff from the Colombian then. So far we've got a lot of familiar faces at the front, the guys that we've come to expect to be fast in rookies races, but yeah, a couple of surprises, no, I wouldn't say about Colin Fire, but certainly a good step forward and impressive performance from the Dutchman so far. And Tayo Furusato then in the race
leading
lead.
his first race in the Red Bull Rookies. Well, tells you all you need to know. This kid's pretty special. Got the Japanese flag atop his lid there, sponsored by HJC, providing all the helmets here in the Rookies Cup. Via 2nd place from a Colombian. Look at this. I mean, the variety of nationalities found that we have in the Rookies Cup. We're looking back now at Tachakorn Brasri as well, occupying 7th place. Or is he? That was when they came over the line before. Brasri could well be up there even higher, I think.
Yeah, maybe even. Yeah, it's a good mix, isn't it? Always
on board with
super international. Great. Oh, and wow, what a move that must have been. Not from the onboard, straight past Ortela there, picked his pocket. Great stuff. And Fire as well, moving back into 3rd, or possibly defending it. I think the graphics are slightly behind this slight melee that we've got going on now.
I don't blame him for being unable to keep up.
Absolutely
I can barely
not.
keep up with this sometimes. Yeah, we did see a glimpse there of the number 89 of your pole position man, Marcus Uriarte. The sort of consistency issues perhaps persist, you could say, down the order a little bit more at the moment. Came across the line 12th last time around, did get a podium in the first race of the season. This pole position just could be up there, but yeah, it needs to be pushing up there towards the end of the race. Still a long way to go yet, though.
Yeah, it's a different beast, though, isn't it, round Mugello? Doing a lap by yourself, or, you know, a qualifying lap. Maybe you had a bit of a cheeky toe.
He's a tall young man as well. That doesn't help.
Compared to a racing scenario with all of these guys going elbow to elbow. But it looks like Furusato then pulled out a little bit of a gap there, and Fire's going to lose out on that hard-fought 2nd place.
There's no way they can see their pit boards.
Yeah.
That's just not possible, is it?
You can see there as well, it's not the English flag, it's the rain flag. Just continuing to warn the riders, there are a few droplets out there on track.
Yeah, a few different line choices coming down into San Donato as well. Look at the top speeds as well, 227 kilometers an hour. These relatively small capacity KTM's managed to put in with the slipstream effect as well. Super duper impressive. Still though, Furusato leading from your Cup overall standings leader, Holgado.
It is, yeah, that difference in top speed, it was quite significant, wasn't it? That's why the slipstream can be so important, especially down that straight. And I believe it is now KTM that have equalled the all-time top speed in MotoGP as well.
Yeah, impressive stuff that from the Austrian manufacturer then. And hold on a second there, there's a couple of bike lengths gap for Furusato right at the front. They do not want to let him escape because he's done this in the other categories as well, but I think they're going to be reeling him in. But clearly he's pretty good in the wide sweeping S-bends that we have here at plenty at Mugello.
Yeah, great stuff then from the Japanese rider, and we're on board then with the standings leader Danny Holgado, who also comes into this undefeated in the Moto3 Junior World Championship, so he'll be feeling pretty confident. But I think given the season he's had so far, both in the rookies and in the CV, I think he'll also be looking to take some good points and play the long game. Seasoned campaigner now is Danny Holgado.
That was Munoz trying to go up the inside of David Alonso, and he didn't quite make it. The rubbed rear tyres, you can see that happening from an absolute mile off. He really likes taking those inside lines. He's done it cheekily at San Donato as well. I've been keeping an eye on him. But goodness me.
That would have been great irony as I'm calling out the guy just ahead of them for playing the long game and not doing anything too crazy.
Just diving up the inside as Munoz. I mean, he's like, I am here as well, yeah. But Holgado also got his Randy Mamela on, didn't he, as well, back in Valencia. A huge save coming out of turn 4. Awesome stuff. Kept it going and still won. How did he do that?
I do not know, but it was very impressive stuff from Danny Holgado, and it still is here in 2nd place. That's about to become 6th, 5th, not sure. Again, 5, 6 wide down the main straight here at Mugello. Who's going to come out on top? Furusato for the lead for sure. He holds on to that.
Oh, another twitch there. That was Holgado versus Alonso, I think it was. Goodness me, it was. He got really pushed out wide, didn't he?
He really did. So, there we go then for Furusato. Maybe the Japanese rider had a bit of a bobble. Not sure, didn't see exactly that. But yeah, number 64 then, Munoz back in the race lead, and Alonso looking to attack already as well.
Goodness me, it's just all action, isn't it, here? This is breaking it down into San Donato, turn 1. This is what happened, I think, with David Alonso and Danny Holgado. Oh, goodness me, that was a quick replay. It's only just happened, but here we are then. In glorious slow motion, we can see what happened. He rubbed his knee with his front tyre, a little bit more corner speed. And I think Holgado absolutely could not see him whatsoever. Kept on turning in. There's no room at the end. Touchdown.
It's a good line. It's going to come just so close together, but both of them managing to stay on. There you can see Holgado kind of like,
whoopsie.
Maybe not quite aware that Alonso was so far alongside him, but at least no harm done. Both still well within this podium fight at the front, and it's Munoz then that still leads the way as we come back from that replay with Alonso in second. Maybe not for long. Nope, Fire thinks better of it, not quite diving through there at the moment. The Dutchman in third place. So where's Furasato then? Is he in maybe...
He's been shoved back to fifth.
Fifth now, okay. So whatever may have happened to the Japanese rider there, maybe just those spots of rain, maybe, you know, just slacking off a little bit there and not wanting to be the guinea pig, but it's still really good stuff from Furasato on his rookie's debut, and I think there was a shuffle behind this on board as well.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Demis Mihaila, who's in this leading group now as well, moving his way up the Italian just one by one. That is pretty impressive. So really big shout out to the local rider.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few guys who've made some impressive steps forward this weekend so far. And there we go then. Now we're about 9-10 abreast.
Goodness me.
So great stuff here.
And
who's
across the rumble strips they come. Boisry round the outside there, got him very unsettled in the braking zone there. And there are just three riders trying to go into several. That's Mario Aggi, the number 34, involved in that one too. Furasato been pushed back. He's down in 10th now.
Yeah, that was pretty close, wasn't it? And so is that. I don't know if whoever that was managed to pull that move off. I don't think quite. But yeah, it's getting pretty feisty then at the front here. But it's Alonso who leads from Ortola. And yeah, that was 3 and 1.
We've had a rider down with Filippo Farioli. So what a shame that is for the number 77. Had a really good qualifying. I think back in Jerez, wasn't it? Is this what happened here? Yes. Oh, went down the middle of that pack.
Oh, it's a big disappointment on home turf then for the Italian, but at least this weekend we do have a race 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So chance to get back on it and try again. But what have we got at the front here then? Is it, I think it's Daniel Holgado back in the lead of this race. It is, the number 96 then.
You go to a replay and you switch back and you don't know who's going to be in the lead.
And Ortola then in second, Alonso third. This is good stuff from some veterans here, keeping their heads pretty well at the front of this race. Although, like I said before, feisty is a good word for it. It's definitely not too sensible. They're still very much elbows out, enjoying this Mugello circuit.
Tashkorn Boisry well in the fight as well. Daniel Munoz just put a pretty tough move on him once again as well. We're on board with Alonso, looking ahead at Ortola, the number 24 in P2. Holgado ahead of him as well. I think I could just about see him. They're tucked in so tightly you could barely check them out. As David Munoz there is in fourth, the number 7 of Daniel Munoz making a move up the inside now as well.
Yeah, just not quite able to make his way through there, and I was going to say there's not going to be that much room once they change direction again, but safely through then, and now I'm sure we're going to get another riders fanning out across the track and last on the brakes contest into turn 1.
Yeah, first on the throttle, then last on the brakes as they come out of the final turn and in towards turn 1. Munoz got a heck of a drive there in the slipstream, and who are we on board with? Who's just been shuffled back to potentially even outside the points? That's Furasato going up the inside there. You can see the number 72 and the Japanese flag. I mean, who's come out on top? It's David Alonso from Daniel Munoz, from David Munoz, and Tashkorn Boisry with Ortola going up his inside on the switch over in towards turn 3.
Yeah, that was amazing from the onboard, wasn't it? You can really see that difference in speed with the slipstream of those guys just swamping past. So yeah, great stuff once again from the rookies. Close racing here at Mugello, and it is, like you said, Munoz back in the lead then. And maybe a little bit wide there, but nothing too bad. And yeah, David Alonso still keeping nice and steady in second place there.
Scott Ogden has joined this. Well, I mean, everybody's in this group pretty much as well, but I've seen him big creeping closer towards the front, the number 19 as well. So you notice the St George's flag on top of his lid, also with Mihaila making steady progress too.
Yeah, so that was really Munoz on Munoz here. So that was a really nice move to move into second, and immediately then striking for the lead.
Going to take him straight back, and goodness me, David Munoz had the presence of mind to take a look over his shoulder there on the braking into there, and he just says, absolutely not, I'm going up the inside once again. I want to lead this race. That was quite a bizarre set of corners, Frank, wasn't it?
That was a great little duel, but I'm not sure it was the most sensible approach at this point in the race. When you are 1 and 2, you know, you've got to be looking over your shoulder for the P3 man a little bit more.
They don't want to lead.
Maybe. I mean, with those conditions, you don't want to necessarily always be the first bike experiencing them. So it'd be interesting to see as the race goes on, but it still looks pretty dry on track, at least just a few droplets, but they're then a little bit wide from the number 64 of Munoz. And yeah, I don't know.
Judging by looking back and everything like that, the wide lines, and they were noticeably a bit slow in some of those corners, I think they do not want to be pushed way back down the order with the slipstream effect down the home straight. They're backing off, which I don't really recommend, to be honest with you, but it was fire over the line first this time around, and, well, whatever happened, it did kind of pay off, because David Munoz is going to be, well, probably in P4 coming into turn 1, so that's much better than last time where he nearly got shuffled down to about 10th.
Yeah, it's like you say, if they don't want to take the lottery, don't want to be at the guy at the front leading the way when that slipstream really kicks in. Like we said on the onboard, you can really see that speed advantage that you get being able to tuck behind not just one or two, but a little pack of riders in front of you as well can make a big difference. But I don't know, I mean, we're not near the end of the race yet. There's a few laps to go, so I'd be surprised if they're being a little too cautious and giving up that amount of time.
Oh, just developing a strategy for that final lap as well. What is the prime position that you want to be in? And one thing's for sure, you probably don't want to be in P1 coming out of the final corner on the final lap. Do want to give a bit of a shout out to all of our riders, a pat on the back. So far, with 6 laps to go, no one's gotten a track limits warning. That's a bit better than Jerez, isn't it?
That is true, yeah. I think, yeah, good stuff from these guys. I think it's a little bit easier, not to say easier, you know, in the normal sense of the word, but Jerez invites it at certain places a little bit more than Mugello. I think Mugello punishes mistakes more than it invites you to just try and take it really to the millimeters. But great racing so far, and yeah, all within track limits from what we've seen from the feed. And it's still then Alonso in the lead. Really good race from him now. A couple of rash moves a few laps ago, but just settled down now as the Colombian.
Yeah, I wonder whether the Colombian got a bit unsettled at the jump start that we had in race 1. It wasn't really sure whether he could go, and then just from pole position didn't really manage to overly impress so much. I mean, he was in the fight at the end, and yes, okay, track limits, didn't take the long lap penalty, couldn't make the most of it, but just didn't seem the dominant force and the man to beat that he was back in Portimao. But different story here today. He's coming out the final corner this time around in P1.
Yeah, let's see then. Like we said, he's got a bit of a smaller frame than a few of his competitors. See where he is after the turn 1 shuffle. Look at all those pit boards you can see.
There's no chance they can see that.
I wouldn't want to be trying to read that, I have to be honest. But we've got Holgado and Munoz then. Look like they might be the guys coming out on top after this. And then you can see Munoz switching to the inside, but I think Holgado's going to hold it.
I was on Alonso watch there, and I think he went back to P7 from the lead across the line near enough. So that really does go to show, yes, he's been pushed out to P11 round there into the first corner. So you really do not want to be leading coming out of that final corner, even when you are more of a pocket rocket, such as the young Colombian.
Yeah, it's yeah, it can change so much, like we've said. But at the moment, then
the number 55 has joined the fight as well. Noah Detweiler, that's the first time we've seen him running towards the front this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, good performance from the Swiss rider. We've got a few guys really doing a great job today and this weekend. So yeah, shout out to the Swiss rider, like you say, up there, really in this mix here. But we've got a familiar race leader in the number 96 for the moment. Yeah,
well, consistency, he knows all about it, and he knows raw speed as well to just try and take those championship points. This is returning into a bit of class race from both Holgado and Munoz, because they are consistently there. But I still wouldn't count anybody out who was leading earlier, particularly this man there. Thank you, Mr. Director. Number 80, David Alonso. A long way to go yet with 5 laps to go. 10 minutes of racing still.
Yeah, and it's a group of 16 pretty much, this freight train.
Good grief.
So someone, at the moment, one rider will not be scoring points, which is a bit of a heartbreaker. Let's see how it shuffles out then in the final 5 laps. But yeah, at the moment it's a freight train of 16, and like we said, Alonso leading the way and then shuffled all the way down to 11th. So really it still is anyone's race.
Yeah, oh goodness me, yeah, Alonso has been shuffled down even further, I think, in that one. But yeah, well, the good news is, if you are a P16 come the end of this one and don't get a point despite being in the leading group, a lot of Moto3 riders know exactly how you feel. The bad news is, when you do get to Moto3, you're going to be in exactly the same sort of situation.
Yeah, it is actually the man from the intro today, Fabio Di Gianantonio. He knows about the slipstream at Mugello. Lost out a couple of times by thousandths here on a Moto3 win. So yeah, it really can be such a lottery at this track. But at the moment, winning that lottery then is the number 55 5 of Noah Detweiler.
How about this then from the Swiss rider? Excellent stuff from Noah. Great to see him up there already. This is the kind of form that you've got to expect from the young Swiss within his 3rd season, I think it is, in the Rookies Cup now. So really good to see him up there fighting, as well as, how about that, from a Rookies veteran, per se. I really don't like to use that word with these young pilots, but then Tayo Furusato there as well in 3rd place in his very first race. And Tachikon Boisserie also up in the fight.
Yeah, it's great stuff from these guys at the front. They've not been there as much as some of the guys just behind them. But yeah, I agree. Veterans, can we use that word?
No, not really.
But
we can't.
those with more experience, certainly.
I did the bunny years, which you can't see.
Some great rides here at the moment here at Mugello. I said here 3 times then. I'll stop. But Detweiler, really impressive. Like I said, seems to have taken a bit of a step forward and now leading the race, no less, from Dutchman Colin Fire, who's now got some experience of that today.
Not heard too much from Diogo Moreira, who's quietly sat there. P8 when he came over the line last time. He's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P6 at the moment is the Brazilian, just ahead of Boisserie. So been a bit quiet, staying out of trouble it seems then. So got to keep an eye on him as well. Been a real contender this year in his debut season. 2 podiums last time out in Jerez.
Yeah, this is quite an interesting mixture here in, like we said, a top 16 freight train fighting still for this win and podium. But some guys that you'd expect to maybe be a little bit further forward, some guys showing the form of their season so far, and some guys like that guy getting a little bit feistier again.
I saw David Munoz sit up a little bit earlier there coming into the final corner. I think he definitely does not want to be the man in the hot seat coming over the line then. It will be Detweiler leading as we click down with 3 laps to go, just checking there, but he is going to get absolutely swamped going turn 1, and there we have it. Diogo Moreira, fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, so good stuff from the Brazilian then. Easy to forget, he's also pretty new here in the Rookies, and just trying to pick the pocket of Detweiler there.
Wow, he did not want to let that go, did he?
He did not at all.
He hasn't let it do.
He hasn't, no. So Diogo Moreira, like we said, fastest lap, but not quite able to make his way through there then. And who have we got in the lead? Is it still Colin Fire? It is. Great stuff from the Dutchman then, and Furusato in 2nd. So they managed to get out of the slipstream fairly well.
Yeah, they really, really did. Good stuff from them. I hope they'll be taking that in towards the final lap if they want to back a solid result there. But that is the fastest man on track technically at the moment. The fastest lap of the race. Danny Holgado there, the number 96 in P4. And there's just so many riders to keep an eye on. I mean, you can barely keep up, can you? Mari Agi's just made a move up there in towards the top. Well, I'm trying to do the maths, about 7.
Counting to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Agi then, he did start the season with a very small fracture in one of his feet. So now he's back to full fitness, and it's good stuff from the Indonesian. Been pretty close to the podium in the FIMSA Repsol as well. So great to see him showing some form here in the Rookies as well today, the number 34.
Yeah, I did notice the Red Bull Rookies Cup did post on Instagram, who do you think is going to win? And the Indonesians, who are mad for it, all saying Super Mario, got to be him. They absolutely love it, don't they?
Incredible passion for motorcycle racing in Indonesia, and Super Mario clues in the name. They absolutely love him, and he's having some great success so far in 2021. So good stuff from him, but it is
Furusato out front.
I was going to say, it is then Japan back in the lead of this Rookies Cup race, the number 72. Really impressive once again.
Detweiler just got completely sandwiched. That was unbelievable. That was Daniel Munoz and Diogo Moreira taking him side by side. That was really rough and ready
there as well, but took back in then the number 55. Yeah, there's been a few 3-in-1 don't go moments in this race so far.
Wow.
But let's see then who's going to win the shuffle this time around. I think Furusato actually may have a chance of holding on to it.
Good grief, he must have got a heck of a drive coming out there. He still leads despite coming out of the final corner in P1, leading over the line in P1. He comes out of turn 1 in P1. This is a wonder rookie, the Japanese rider, in his first race here in the Rookies Cup. No matter what happens now, what an entrance this is.
Yeah, definitely. We saw an incredible debut weekend from Diogo Moreira in Portugal, and Furusato stealing some headlines today as well. Really impressive stuff from some of the newer faces in the Cup this season, and it's still the number 72 who's leading, but it does seem now like they're getting a little bit eager to just get kind of back on his tail and make sure that slipstream can't escape. next time around.
Yeah, totally agree. The tone of the race is starting to change, isn't it, on this penultimate lap? Everyone's really jostling for position if they want a run to the line, a potential to win this race, or just get a podium or a personal best result. This is the time they really need to get a wriggle on and make some moves to try and bag a prime position for the slipstream.
Yeah, it really is. So we've got some veterans now right on the tail of the rookie. I will use that word this time around. I think it's okay, you know. We've got some good experience there, and Furasato, a little bit of a shot in the dark for him. First ever time on track racing with the rookies. I really don't know how to call it, but like you say, we're nearly onto the final lap soon, and there will be some decisions to be made.
Gosh, such a neat style he's got as well. I mean, just almost, it's going to become iconic if he keeps going further in his career. Just a real classic, neat Japanese, almost 250cc kind of neutral style going in. So impressive. And look at that, Mario Aggi moving up the inside, a dive up the inside towards turn 15, but it's Holgado who's got the run into second place on the run to start and finish straight, about to begin the final lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Munoz again just didn't seem to be quite tagging onto the back of Furasato. Maybe he didn't want to be the guy in the head of this slipstream.
Oh, that was Daniel Munoz across the grass as we come down towards San Donato for the final time.
It was indeed. So, yeah, a little bit of a bubble. Then you saw the number 7 machine just shake a little bit, but no harm done. This is a big shuffle now, though. It's getting really important now. That is the last time they've got the whole main straight to make that shuffle.
Fran, the problem is for these guys, Furasato, they've given him in all this messing around a couple of bike length strength, and he seems so good in these long sweeping S-bends as Daniel Munoz just, he has a bit of a shuffle there with the number 24. I think that was Ortela as well. But look at this, Bertelli's up there into 4th as well. The local rider, number 28, the rider who finished highest here last time we were here in 2019.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Bertelli. He's not really been in the first few places of this race so far, but he's got there when it really starts to count on this final lap. Furasato, they're holding firm at the front. But yeah, Holgado, after deciding to take that inside line and try his luck in second on the slipstream, it's really not worked out for him too well.
And Indonesia, I hope you're on the edge of your seats, because this could well be a podium for your man, Super Mario Aggi. It's him versus the Brazilian versus the Japanese rider. Then you got Bertelli looking for home glory here as we come into the 3rd and nearly penultimate sector.
Yeah, it is. So Furasato closing the door there as Moreira's looking for a way through, but I'm sure the 92 will try and make something happen, and Bertelli's going for it.
He was
quite
defending his line from Holgado there. That was supreme.
It was indeed. So who's going to come out on top in this one? I don't want to call it, but they're right on Furasato's tail now.
Yep, so who's going to be making the jump down in towards turn 15? Who's going to lead coming out of the final? And most importantly, who's going to be leading over the line? Furasato goes first into turn 15. Mario Aggi gets pushed wide by Holgado. Now it's about the run to the line. Furasato is in first from Moreira, from Bertelli, the local rider. Who's going to get the slipstream? Moreira going for glory. Will it be glory for Brazil or Japan? It's Japan! He's done it! Furasato, the dream start. 5 from 5 wins so far this season for him in his various competitions. What a performance! I can't believe it.